What is up, YouTube? McIntyre here. Today I'm bringing you guys a new video talking about Thrall. I have been out for holiday. I've been gone for a little while, but in my few weeks away, Thrall has been dominant in Hero League and a hero that has really been a force to reckon with. So today I wanted to come out with a video talking about Thrall. I of course want to go over the pros and cons of Thrall first before we talk about the build, and then we'll go into a gameplay. I don't want this video to come out as satire, as I do believe when I go over the pros and cons that Thrall doesn't really have cons. He's really just all pros. He will have one con, but for the most part, he is incredibly strong at doing everything. And I think that is kind of the reason why he's fell into a powerful position and pick in Heroes of the Storm currently. So we're going to talk about the pros and cons now, and then we'll go over the build. So the first pro of Thrall is going to be his strong 1v1. This is a very obvious one. This is something that's been with Thrall since forever. His ability to lane in the solo lane is phenomenal. He has great kind of pick potential if someone were to show up in his lane with his wolf and his just high damage. He usually can find a kill there. He also has the ability to just solo kill. He doesn't even need a gank. And he is incredibly strong at kind of pushing ganks off of him. Because of his mount speed on Wind Fury, he gets 30% move speed when he E's. This ability kind of allows him to be off mount, and then let's say ETC ganks his lane. You would activate this. You could then Q the ETC off of the mount, or even throw a Feral Spirit at ETC before he can slide you and kind of get away. So Thrall has an incredible amount of just sustain and pressure in the lane, and for that he is kind of one of the strongest solo laners in the game, right? It's very hard to get him out of lane, and that is because of his sustain. And this is the second pro to Thrall, is his ability to sustain himself, and this is fully due to Frostwolf resilience. After dealing damage with your abilities 5 times, you heal, and we all know the talent Ride the Lightning. This is going to add 2 more hits to Chain Lightning, which is going to allow Chain Lightning to hit 5 enemies, which is going to immediately proc your passive, right? And we have different ways to proc passive. We can Chain Lightning, we can throw Feral Spirit at minions. A lot of people don't know this, but if you Feral Spirit a minion wave, for every minion hit by the wolf, you will heal. And then your Wind Fury gets 3 procs, right? And with the addition of Earthquake damage on heroes, you now get procs of your heroic off of your Earthquake. Okay, but we'll talk more about Earthquake here in a little bit. But overall, Thrall has the ability to essentially always be full health and not require any healing at all, as long as you're casting Chain Lightning kind of consecutively, right? And this is one of his hugest strengths, is the ability to always be full health and not require healing. This will allow your supports to heal other people on your team, right? So really important, and one of the, again, pros of Thrall. The third pro of Thrall is going to be he has hybrid damage and he has burst damage. Okay, so just like Vala, a lot of Thrall's damage is going to be coming from both his abilities and his auto attacks. So Chain Lightning, when you use it over and over, will eventually poke someone out, right? If you use this in the lane against your enemy, you'll eventually poke them to the point that they have to back off, okay? Same, we have Feral Spirit. This is going to do magic damage. We have Earthquake. This is magic damage, right? And obviously Wind Fury is not magic damage, but you pair this magic damage with things like Follow Through, where you get additional damage on base auto. And as a lot of you may know about Thrall, or maybe you don't know, is he's one of the highest base autos in the game. So when we give one of the highest base auto attackers in the game Follow Through, an additional 40% damage on auto, you know, we lead to a hero that will, when you, let's say, kill somebody and they tab and look at their damage, what killed them, he'll have like 1300 basic auto damage, and then maybe 400 Chain Lightning and 150 Wolf or something like that, right? So It's absurd how much damage this talent does with Thrall's base auto. And honestly, you know, if I was talking to Blizzard, I would say that this is a problem talent, but for now, we're going to continue to use it, right, to our advantage. But I do believe that this is a problem talent for Thrall, and one of the reasons why he is so absurd at the moment. The last pro to Thrall is going to be CC, okay? And unlike a lot of heroes in this game, many don't have a form of CC that, you know, can chain into a follow-up. So when we look at Thrall, we are providing two forms of CC now. We have our Feral Spirit, which is a spell that can only hit a hero. And this is important because we can throw it in minion waves into the enemy, right? There's nothing that can block this other than another hero. And this is super important when we pair it with this stupid ability, Earthquake, which is why this video is called Press R and Win. So Earthquake, when you press R, you deal damage, which is going to dismount the enemy. This is important. But to put 70% slow in an AoE around you to every person that is in your circle. And what you do here is now you Earthquake, they're slowed, and then you Feral Spirit. It's very easy to hit. It's almost like Earthquake, or it's almost like Sundering Wolf, but since they've nerfed Sundering to the point that you can't do this anymore, you might as well use Earthquake because you can still use it, right? It doesn't work super effectively on heroes with stashes and stuff, like, let's say, a Tychus. But it still works really well because even if Tychus has his E up and you Earthquake, he's going to be slowed. And then you hit E, you have mount speed, you're running after him. He E's because he has to because you're about to auto him. You land your Feral Spirit, your team collapses, you get a kill, okay? It's very simple, but Thrall provides an insane amount of CC. A 1 second CC root and a 70% slow on 3 pulses. It pulses 3 times. Definitely should be changed to 2, but it is pulse 3. So as long as you're standing in it and fighting, the enemy's going to have a terrible time chasing you around, or you're going to be able to chase into them really easily. So yeah, an absurd amount of CC coming out of a melee assassin with a high base auto damage, high sustain, strong 1v1, and hybrid damage. So this is all of the pros to Thrall. Now the one con that Thrall does have, and it is resolved at level 20, is low mobility. Thrall does have low mobility in the fact that he has no blinks. He's not squirrely. He's not slippery. Okay, he's slippery in the fact that if he E's, he'll probably run away. But when we see things like Leoric, Entomb, or Tassadar Wall, right? These sort of moves that kind of keep people from moving, that's when Thrall's going to have a hard time. Even slows, for the most part, will hurt Thrall. Obviously, he has Earthquake to counter that, but if you can catch him out of position, he isn't able to escape the fight. And like I said, at 20, he is still one of the few heroes in the game that still has Bolt. So you can still get out of those situations once you get to 20. But for the most part, he is low mobility. I put the con just because I felt like I couldn't just put no cons. But for the most part, Thrall has just lots of pros. So now we're going to hop into the build and we'll show you kind of the build and how a lot of the talents work. So I want to quickly go over the build. I'm going to post a combo video for Thrall up somewhere on the screen right now. And this is an older video that I made that kind of talked about Thrall's abilities and how to use them, you know, kind of together. It goes a little more in depth, but I am going to go over kind of the basic build for Thrall right now and talk about why we are taking the talents that we do. So looking at level 1, if the enemy has a strong solo laner that auto attacking like an Alarak will put him ahead, then block is where you want to be at. Or if they have another hero that's, let's say, like Zeratul, who's going to, you know, have a follow through crit or something like that, even Raynor, Greymane, then I like block more. This is going to help you dominate your lane. If the other team has no auto attackers at all, then Rolling Thunder is where you want to go. So you're going to increase the range of your Q, and it's going to return mana back to you when you auto attack things that you've chain lightninged. So again, if you're against an auto attacker heavy team or an auto attacker heavy lane, then I like block. But if you're against no autos, kind of mages more or less, then you usually go Rolling Thunder at level 1. At level 4, it's the only one choice here, Ride the Lightning again. This works really well, as you can see with my passive. I take this talent and I hit Q. My passive just procs immediately down here. So we'll try it one more time. Arthas might run away. There he is again, procced again. Alright, and like I was talking about before, you can wolf the lane too. I like when the lane's kind of walking up. So you see how my lane walks up in a straight line? Theirs does too, and when it walks up, you can kind of throw your wolf and get more than 5 hits on the enemy minions, right? So if you do that and then you hit your Q on the enemy lane, you'll proc your passive twice. So that's why it's so important to have Ride the Lightning. It's important to remember too, you know, if there's no minions, if you have the level 1 talent, then you can poke at the buildings for free. But if you don't have it, you just tank 1 tower shot, hit the wall, and then it'll bounce, 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 right? Because there's 5 pieces to the enemy wall, if you Q, even that 1 shot, you'll proc your passive again, and it won't really matter, right? So it's okay to tank 1 shot, essentially there, right? If you need something to Q. So looking at our level 7 talents, we're going to take follow through, obviously. Talked a lot about this talent. Now, every time you use an ability, you get a crit. So here's a normal auto, 362. But if we hit E and then auto, we get a 500 crit, right? And then what we want to do with that is, you know, we want to E to get our first Wind Fury crit. Then we're going to W the target to get our second crit, and then we'll Q at the very end to get the 3rd crit. So, right, so we get 3 crits. We used all of our abilities. We got crits in on every Wind Fury attack. So there's another like kind of cool way you can use your E. If you're close to the enemy enough that hitting your E isn't necessary, then you can auto attack first, then E to auto attack reset. So you reset your auto attack animation and then go into the exact same cycle, right? So we'll try that one more time. Just want to show off the auto reset. Right? So that's a good way to trade with somebody. You walk up, drop one of those combos on them. The other way you can do it is if, let's say, they're going to walk into their wall and you have to throw your wolf. You know, you can activate your E to get near them, then kind of throw your Feral Spirit where you think they're going to go, get that crit, then Q, then crit. So something like this. It's totally okay. You miss out on 1 crit that way, but you guarantee that you land the wolf. With a lot of Thralls, and I've gone over a lot of Thrall players' replays and such, I see them a lot of the time kind of stand out here and then throw a wolf at the enemy without activating Wind Fury. For me, I always activate Wind Fury to get in range. Then you kind of throw a melee range wolf, right? And you're going to guarantee that hits rather than throwing a max range. So again, throwing max range is not bad, but it's so much better if you E towards them and get that nice, like, almost guaranteed stun, or root in this case. So again, at level 10 now, we are going to take Earthquake, and the absurdity of this talent, and a lot of people might not know this, some people obviously do now, is the actual range of this ability. It's kind of sick if you think about it. It's the size of every objective in the game. It's bigger than most all escape abilities. It's instant. It activates 3 times and it dismounts. So what I was talking about before is, let's say this is a Chromie and I'm here and I'm like, oh my god, Chromie, like there's a Chromie right there. Like, all right, you know, Earthquake. Now I guarantee myself this wolf, and then I walk up and drop the combo. Do not hesitate as Thrall in this case. do not hesitate. The one thing that you can do when you earthquake and you can mess up is you earthquake and it gets canceled, because there is an animation, like it's very subtle, but there is one where he slams the hammer, and if you get CC'd or knocked back or something during this animation, then it won't cast. And the last thing that you want to do as Thrall is make sure your earthquake doesn't get off, even if it just flicks the person, right? If this is the enemy team and it just flicks them all off mounts, this is your team's engage. Now your team has the window to engage here, right? And obviously if you can get, let's say that this is the enemy's base and I'm trying to flank his Thrall, and I can get in here and they're trying to run up here, and I activate and run this way, right? They have to run through all of this now, and then I can get a lot of pressure within my own earthquake. But you don't want to leave this earthquake, and again, it's really hard to, honestly, because of how absurdly big it is. But yeah, so this is where hitting R and winning basically comes into play. Again, you would probably earthquake. Oh, okay, that person's slowed. You hit your wolf, and then you can do your combo. Boom, that person's dead. Usually that person's dead, right? So now we'll talk about our 13 talent. For me, there's two different choices here. We have Giant Killer, and this is better if you're against like Diablo or the double tank compositions that a lot of people are taking. Even against Artanis, this talent will wax Artanis. So really against heavier health pool heroes, you want to go Giant Killer. Or if the enemy team doesn't have a lot of burst. If the enemy team has a lot of burst, I really like Spell Shield. So for me, Earthquake kind of made Thrall a sort of hybrid tank, in the fact that if you have Spell Shield and you Earthquake and they engage on you, you'll probably be able to just tank that, right? Like Hulk up that damage from all of your proc passives, maybe one heal from your support, something along those lines, right? They're not going to be able to one-shot you if your Earthquake's going while they all engage you on you with the Spell Shield up. So I kind of like the Spell Shield if the enemy team is trying to one-shot. If the enemy team is not and they have some tanks or something, Giant Killer pretty much all the way. And then we come to our 16 talent, and this is, again, kind of depending on the enemy team. If they are one-shot comp, Blood for Blood. This is going to burst, give you heal. It's really good against Diablo. It's really good against the Haka. I personally really like this talent. I'm probably going this talent 60% of the time, even though I used to love Tempest Fury, and I still think it's incredible with Giant Killer. I'm really liking Blood for Blood because it just adds a little extra oomph to his burst. It reminds me a lot of Kerrigan when you combo somebody. Even though that Blood for Blood on Kerrigan's kind of weak, Essence for Essence, I think is what it's called, I still take it because sometimes it's enough to either keep me alive or get me the kill. So I really like this talent. And obviously at 20, we are going to take Bolt of the Storm. And it'll allow us to do things like, Bolt, Earthquake, Wolf, something like that, right? So we can Bolt, Earthquake, and kill that person, okay? We can Bolt behind them, Earthquake, run up. Lots of things you can do with Bolt. Honestly, you can just Earthquake, do your normal engage. Oh, okay, I'm gonna die. Bolt, right? Bolt's just an absurd ability, and the fact that Thrall has it still is one of the reasons why he's honestly as strong as he is. Having Bolt, having the ability to just get out. Think about like Alarak, right? Alarak has a Bolt, but it puts him to 1 HP. Thrall has a Bolt that doesn't do anything. It's just a Bolt. So, really absurd. These are the talents for Thrall. Again, go back. I'll put it in the description even. The kind of combo Thrall video, and talks more about everything if you want to get a better understanding of that. But we are going to hop into the gameplay now. So, I'll see you guys then. Alright, so we are hopping into this game. Looking at the compositions. Decide if we want Block or Rolling Thunder. I honestly think Rolling Thunder is better here. We do get block value off the Vala and the Rack, but we'll have Rolling Thunder value off the fact that we can break nuke channels from a fairly safe distance without like putting ourselves at risk, basically. And being able to do that on a map like this, even like on Curse Hollow, is really powerful. Plus, we have Task Solo support this game, so I'm going to need to Q a lot at a safe distance. Otherwise, I'll just get punished. And we can, honestly, at First Blood, if ETC slides and then I wolf, we can kill someone. Ball had tumbled. So Illidan is solid top. I'm gonna head bottom. I don't think we have. I'll let K1 mess with that guy. I don't think I can trade at all with him, especially once he uses an ability because of the block charges. Yeah. Good news is I don't think anyone's soaking top for them. I'm gonna tap early too. I'm gonna need to tank some of these minions. I don't want to let them all onto the wall. I'll W on this next wave to get heal too. Maybe if we body block the heck out of him. I'm dead. Their whole team's here. I shouldn't have tried that. Trying to kill Joanna with ETC Thrall. It was a good try though. Again, I don't really care too much about tanking damage with Joe, right? As long as I use my passive. We do want to rotate top, try to kill this Rag. Honestly, Illidan wins this if he dodges that W. Yeah, he should win that. I think he wins this. Maybe not. I think their whole team's coming, but I'm gonna try to channel. Dodge the Q maybe. Oh, he hit it. Uh-oh. Dodging Blizzard's pretty good. I'm tanking a whole minion wave though. Our Rhaegar is destroying. Our team might rotate. Here we go. Raynor kills Jaina. Never mind. He's standing in the Blizzard. Jaina kills Raynor. I think one of these people should die. If not, Tass is still defending bottom, so we don't have a support. I'm headed up top. Looks like their whole team is here. And I can get breaks pretty much for days with the range Q. I don't like the hard engage at all. Oh, nice slide. Okay, so Tass is finally here, so we do have a support now. I think we'll start trading up. Oh, nice slide. Kill Jaina. Kill the slow ward. One auto. I need to cue the minion wave. Rag's just gonna keep throwing stuff. There you go. He's probably got a W still in him. Gosh. That's the strongest thing about Ragnaros right there. Illidan went bottom though. Alright, so we lost the nuke. A bit of a fiesta. I think if we had... No. I was going to say, I think if we had split, but the answer to the question is no. We should have just backed off, let the Rag thing go, and then tried. Like, took a lot of damage, honestly, from just standing there. Try to get back full health. bot. They're all headed bottom. Maybe kill Vol on the rotation. She might head down just like to aid her team. Maybe not. If anything, Jaina could rotate up. This is a actually really strong rotation. Oh, Vol is dead. We need to cut her. I don't know, if she goes up to the right, she gets out. Yeah. Alright, let's just send her off mid XP then. Once we get Earthquake, I think once we get Earthquake, this game might get a little bit easier. Oh god. Rag's here too. You know, 2 for 1 when you're 2 levels down is not terrible. Now we have Earthquake. I think if I had Earthquake there, we both live. ETC has Stage Dive. Yeah, Earthquake's gonna be huge for us. I think this is a lot of the reason why Illidan was getting knocked up by Rag. We should fight. Hopefully K1 jumps in. Yeah, there it is. Good. It's really good. I think we even killed JoJo. Killed a lot of people there. Holy. So we should get all 4 nukes. If I can get this nuke, we should be able to get all 4. Yeah, Earthquake's massive. Earthquaking and then catching that root on Rhaegar just instantly picked him. I don't know if Joe missed blind or what happened. I'm actually gonna drop my nuke top. I want to push the wave too. I don't really want to tank these towers. I guess it doesn't really matter. So this first wave of nukes, I think it's best to use just to get the XP lead, and then you can kind of ride the XP lead, because the next set of nukes should be like a 2 nuke or even possibly a 1 nuke. And if you're at XP, like if you're at an XP, then you technically should win that, right? Sometimes you can stack nukes and get forts and keeps. But I think for just Hero League's sake, it's better to danger. Look at all these danger pings. That's so funny. Can kill Vala, I think. I need help. Oh, if I hit Wolf, she dies. She has Frost Armor too. Should have just ran instead of turning. That Frost Armor is nice. Lol. No, K1, don't do it. That's the thing too, is you don't know if the building's underneath Rag. I think they should do something about that. Oh gosh, Illidan, hello? So yeah, so we should win this next nuke spawn. Reyna can defend this fairly easy. Funny enough, Illidan should be the one soaking, not me. Thrall does this camp faster than Illidan does. You can kill Rag 100% here. Maybe not, maybe not. I could have Earthquake for it, but K1 was getting eye instead of. If K1 was rotating to hit the slide, I would have Earthquaked for sure. But he wasn't close enough, I don't think. And if I had Earthquake, then nothing would have come of the Earthquake. Alright, they're rotating on top of us. Oh my god. So many abilities. For some reason when they hunt, I heard a hunt. I thought that I was okay, but I was far from okay. Illidan gets this, maybe? Joe blinds. Nice, okay. That's perfect. Should have Earthquaked and just ran. I thought we were fighting for some reason. That was a good engage by them. I played that poorly too. So one thing with Thrall especially is you just can't hesitate on like using your ultimate. You either need to use it or you don't. I think there I kind of hesitated on whether we should fight or not, and then nothing happened really. So you have to decide like one or the other. You can't do both. Otherwise you'll get punished like I just did. They are getting top boss. I hate that we're defending. So I think this game, I'm going to go blood for blood and look to blood for blood that Joe for health. They are very kind of, not one-shotty, but very bursty. And the blood for blood could help. I need to be careful here. There's whole teams here. I think this is a good fight for us, actually, though. Oh my gosh, I want to push my buttons. Never mind. These two win, right? As long as this Rainer auto attacks this Vala. Rainer auto attack the Vala. Auto the Vala Rainer. Auto the Vala. Oh no. So nothing necessarily bad comes of this. We should defend this boss without losing keep. We even get a good fight here. If Illidan has Hunt too. Like, we should fight. Oh my. Earthquake got cancelled. Good wall, really good wall. Probably forced a little too hard. Speaking of which. Okay, so I think we still can get a fight here. Maybe not with a rag on the building. Oh gosh, Earthquake. So weak. Come on! I mean, Homeboy's gonna have... What's it called? Hunt. He should. Maybe not. There it is. This is huge. We're gonna get 4 nukes. Can we core? I just want to make sure Jaina doesn't get any nuke. So I'm gonna rotate down. It's possible that she goes to the even the very bottom nuke. And I get punished here for grabbing this one if she does. But I might be able to rotate down on top of her and kill her at that nuke. Let's head down there just in case. I think if she goes for this, I kill her. Maybe she's here. She's gotta be doing something greedy, right? Someone needs to grab. One needs to grab. Since I have a nuke, I obviously can't grab this. I guess I'm gonna nuke this too. We'll just get 20 before them. This should help us get the XP advantage in our favor. I think as long as we don't get caught up in that wombo, we should win the fights. I need the Earthquake immediately. I'm probably fine here. Earthquake does a lot. Careful. Oh gosh. I hate this fight. See, again, this is what I'm talking about, this wombo. Maybe not though. What's up to Illidan? Okay, core mid. Core mid, just core. Oh no, Jaina, don't do this. You should just be able to core. I think we have this. Why? Nice, good comeback, really good comeback. When they spawn, I'm an Earthquake. Boom. GG. I hated that engage, but something good must have happened on the back end of it. Like, either the ETC got a huge stage dive, like, it felt like it was going so wrong. I guess the Hyperion probably messed them up. But that is going to be it for the Thrall gameplay. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to throw a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can always check me out on Twitch and Twitter. Those will both be located below in the description, as well as my tier list. This is the final build I went this game. I did take the Giant Killer to mess up the Joanna and the Rag, honestly, but Joe kind of steps to you with a little less respect than most tanks, and you can punch that really well with Thrall. So for that reason, I did take the Giant Killer, and I went blood for blood because, again, we have Tassadar, so that little bit of healing sometimes might be the difference between dying and living, especially against the Jaina and whatnot. So again, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you all next time.